We are live now. What's going on, guys? 239 Hockey. How y'all doing? This is Pale Poner over here on the Throwdown. We've got a show that's long been coming. We've been off air for quite a while. I think the last one that we did was November 28th. So it's been a couple weeks now. Unfortunately, it's the holiday season, Christmas season. Everybody's got a lot of stuff going on. So a little bit of a layoff there. Unfortunately, it coincided with playoffs, so we didn't get as much playoff coverage as we would have liked. But it is what it is. We're here now. We're giving you some content. Let's get it rolling. Dominator Silva, you're on the show. You're on the Throwdown. How you doing today?
I'm great, man. Happy to be here. Obviously, coming off a championship, the second of my career, so I'm pumped, I'm excited, and yeah, I guess I'll just throw it to sober. I don't want to brag too much about it. Obviously, you guys are probably sick of me already. Um, we got our head of what is it? Talent and special tasks. Sober.
I think that's what it is. Special
Mhm.
tasks. So I haven't really come across that one yet, but congrats on the cup. Nice two-time shit. And looking for these awards. It's going to be a surprise. Think there's a lot of people eligible for good awards this season.
Yeah, man, for sure. And I mean, let's backtrack a little bit. We didn't really get a chance to cover really the last two rounds of the finals, but the finals are already over. Sports Cosmic Fades team came out on top. Dominator Silva was a big part of that. Um, Dom, how you feeling after the win, man?
Like I said, pretty hyped, pretty pumped about it. There'll be a lot of people in the league, my team included, that will say I got too big of a head from it. But it's exciting. It's exciting to win the championship. It's exciting. It doesn't matter what type of team you have, whether you're Brick's team that was surging and then made the playoffs kind of near the end and got a finals bid, or you're a team that was always seen as a contender from draft day. You never know, especially with this game. So with that, it's always freaking exciting, especially Pale, you've been there many times sober. I know you've been there and come out on top. The finals itself, it's a whole different ball game. It's regular season, playoffs, finals, and it takes a whole nother level to play there and just performing under pressure. So mixed emotions, hyped, excited, glad, proud, all that stuff. And I mean, I don't know if we want to go into the finals or the awards here. Like, what do you want to do, Pale? Like, how do you want to handle? You thinking just kind of go around the round table with finals talk?
Yeah, let's just take it around once and see where we go. Sober, you got a chance to watch the finals. Was that the result that you were expecting? I mean, what did you think going into it, and about the results of how it worked out? I mean, Sports comes out 4-1 over Brick's team. I mean, me personally, I thought it would have been a tighter series. I thought Brick could pull it out. I thought it would go 6 or 7 games at least, and ended up only being five. What do you think, though, Sober?
I think if they would have played the four the first night, it would have been over the first night. I think that playing the three the first night kind of made it a little bit tighter second night than it probably should have been. The games were close. From what I saw until that last game kind of got out of hand. But I think it was a lot of just watching Sports play when they were able to control the play and not basically play on the fire the shots on the nets type of thing. That Brick's team was notorious for. Now you got Drug Monkey, the king of the muffin. Doing it when they didn't have to sit back and defend that kind of the rebounds and stuff like that, and they're able to attack constantly. It showed it wasn't close.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think what I noticed from the difference from the regular season matchup to the playoff matchup between Bricks and Cosmic's team, so our team, they did, I think, primarily a very strong trap and kind of turd team in the regular season, I would say. And a lot of what we didn't do in that regular season kind of it shifted in the playoffs. So I think that was the main thing. I don't know how much Brick's team kind of thought they had their book on us or vice versa. We both kind of like knew what each other was going to do. That being said, I feel like both teams in the playoffs kind of stepped away from their typical game plan. We took our time to beat their trap. If you watch the stream, if you go back and watch it, Mike Warren, others have, I think, streamed it. You'll see that sports were patient through the neutral zone. That was really a key to beating Bricks. 5-man stacked on the blue line trap, which was honestly stellar. Was very, very hard to deal with. Even though we got by them, we still had to create offense. That being said, their offense also changed. It wasn't that turd team. Like, of course, you take it. Everyone takes a turd when it's the only thing available, but they did a lot of working from behind the net, working to the slot. A lot of differences in they capitalized. I mean, I think everyone who's played on against Bricks teams this season, they're probably one of the best counter teams out there. If you make a mistake or the defense are caught on their heels, you are most likely going to pay for it. So that's kind of the series in a nutshell based on how two teams play. We knew we had the offense. We took our time. We were patient, and we just got it done. 5 games, 4 games. It really didn't matter. And it didn't matter if Pogs' team, I know there's a lot of naysayers. For us, it didn't matter if Pogs' team made the finals because they played a similar style. And I kind of felt going into the Bricks-Pogs series that Bricks' team may edge out because they have a tighter trap, I felt. Those are the only 2 teams that we lost against. So either way, we felt like we were just going to be patient with them. We knew what people's books on us were and how to pounce back. So I think that, to get analytical as the head of marketing, that's how the finals were. Obviously, I don't know if you guys got a chance to see the write-up. Whole lot of flexing, sober. I don't know if you saw it. I don't know what you thought about it. You know me. I was your write-up guy. On the bench, totally fine. Kind of sweaty. Coach Dom, but when it's a write-up, I'm flexing. And hopefully nobody was insulted. But sober, what'd you think of that? What'd you think of the finals? What'd you think of everything, how it ended? And
I definitely respect the Coach Dom. I think the write-up is good, but the stuff you say during the game makes a lot of sense. And 90% of the time when you say it, people actually listen to it and they take it to heart. They don't just go, "Oh, Dom's just being Coach Dom again," But you gave a lot of good points during the games that you were playing. How the hell did you handle AZ in all those parties? Holy shit!
Well, you remember Yadameen.
Yeah.
AZ is Yadameen, not on coke, pretty much. Mike's just and a shout out to AZ Mike War, rookie. Rookie for 239 this season. He's one of those guys that whoever gets him next season, because he's going to be a 239 lifer. He loves this league. He is going to be your best, maybe not your best party. He's definitely your best party presence in my opinion. But you got guys like Kelch and them out there. He'll be one of your best team players thus far. He's a ride or die guy, and he was able to self, motivate and motivate his teammates. Which I love Mike, man. Mike is so wholesome. Mike is an angel. He was voted. What was it? Mikey, type in chat what you were voted most likely to be an angel or something from his high school yearbook, something like that. If you've seen the guy, he looks like Randy Savage, and he'll tear your throat out. But shout out to Mike War and Pale. I don't know what you got from the write up from this series from Brick. I know you're still in a team chat with him from your championship days, and I flexed on Brick pretty hard because Brick's one of those guys that you talk shit to him, he'll talk shit back, and I love that about him. He's Portuguese, man. He's one of my own. So that's something I did. So, Pale, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, Brick's a good guy, and he definitely took the loss hard. I'm sure, but he was pretty proud of the way that his team played this season. I mean, at one point they were last place in the league, and to come back from that and get all the way to the finals is a pretty big accomplishment. And he's got a lot of guys on that team that are pretty underrated too. I mean, you look at guys like Amazing Viper and Jelly and Epic, and these guys were key parts of his team that caused the turnaround. And they're guys that are taken really late in our draft for the most part. So it was good to see those guys get some recognition and be able to get all the way to the finals there. But just wasn't able to overcome it. And he's going to try and make another run next year. Brick's a guy that's won in this league 3 times. He definitely knows how to win, and he knows how to get there, obviously, by captaining a team and taking them to the finals as well. So it was good to see, and it's exciting to see. I think it's good for the league to have guys that are capable of doing that kind of thing. It's just guys that are always an underdog, but can make something happen out of nothing. In a season that it looked like he was going to go south and not really have a chance to even make an impact in the playoffs, ends up going all the way to the finals and beating the number 1 seeded team on the way there is pretty cool.
I agree. That's totally, big ups to him. And I think it's like the Golden Knights of last season, right? It's kind of a win-win. Like if you're going to lose, that sucks, but you had a really successful season. Obviously, you talk to Brick, I'm sure losing sucks always, but he had a successful season. He made the finals. That's great. And, I'm sure every one of those players, their draft stock will rise. Their not to make this a segue, but their, possibility for getting an award and all that will rise. They're just, quality players. And I feel like successful season is still a season you can learn from and grow from for the next season.
Absolutely. So you mentioned awards. Let's get into it. This is an award show, so let's talk about them. I've got the award spreadsheet up. What award do you want to do first, Sober?
Let's go to everybody's favorite, Vezina.
Vezina? All right. So for the Vezina, we have B Crips, I Soldier Up, The Tomahawk, and Master Shotgun nominated for it. All these guys I think were pretty deserving. Everybody had pretty good save percentages. A decent amount of shutouts. Played for teams that either made. I think DJ's team came close to making the playoffs. I don't think they actually did make it, but it's always a good race for the Vezina. Sober, you mentioned it's something that a lot of people get up in arms about. It's a very controversial award, but let's get into it. Sober, who do you think has won it this season?
Well, this is a surprise to me, and probably only me by this point. I'm going to have to say Tomahawk, just due to him being kind of the rock on that team for back end ways, and he's been kind of snubbed a couple seasons. Well, didn't he win it last season? Anybody? Bueller?
Yeah, Tomahawk won it last season.
Yeah.
Did he get it 2 in a row?
Nope. No, that was his first time winning.
No, I mean, did he win it now?
Oh, well, I guess we're gonna find out.
That's jumping to the point. Yeah. I mean, you guys know who my vote is, so that's enough said. Even though clearly he had a stud lefty and righty in front of him, but whatever,
I just don't want to. I didn't want to say Cripps because I wanted to see the reaction.
He's the obvious. He's the well, right. But to me, it's just cocky. I gotta play it, man. There's no X to the D. There's no the icon right now to take the reins, so I might as well be the heel of it. But no, other than Cripps, I mean, Pale, those names that you mentioned, Tommy, DJ, Shoddy. I mean, DJ is one of those guys that to me has just been tremendous, like season in, season out. And he was on, I think Schwartz's team this season, and he was on a team that didn't perform so well the season before that, and he was still like, fuck, he's keeping the game close, and he can still win. So, he's getting close, or if not already at Crips' level, like they're fucking studly. Tommy and Shotgun are to me a whole different story. Tommy's definitely improved. Shotgun's definitely improved from when I've known him in Moose. So that's still a good cast if you look at all the goalies this season, not including some part-timers, which is fair. But yeah, my vote kind of stays the same, regardless of being on his team or not. You can't deny what that guy has done, regardless of who he has in front of him.
So, yeah, it is B Cripps as the winner. B Cripps did win the Vezina again. It's his 3rd time winning it. Guy's a stud in net. I mean, there's not a whole lot more that you can say about that. He's puts up great numbers every year, and he's probably the best goalie in the league. I think he's going to consistently be the first goalie taken off the board every season.
Yeah. I mean, if I can touch more on that just to end it, talk a big game on right D. Actually, I think I'm garbage at it. If you guys saw the finals, there was a couple times where I was just costing and Cripps in the finals in game 5, game 4, near the end. You know, he's making huge saves, big turnover saves. He's still performing. If you can be a guy that not only performs in the regular season, but, you know, during the big show. I know the Vezina is just for regular season, but it's a good sign that you're a really, really good goaltender.
For sure, for sure. What else you got, Dom? What award do you want to see next?
Let's go from the net out, man.
You want to go defense?
Let's
Norris?
go defense.
All right. So for the Norris, we had Rondon Vellante, Rev Hellcat, Nexus 510, Drug Monkey, Dominator Silva, and Wizzy War nominated for it. All pretty deserving names. It's a lot of names. I try to reduce the amount of nominations for the awards, but you know, the award voting this season was pretty split. There's a lot of different opinions going into it, so it was better to keep it a little bit bigger this season, the way that the nominations were done than in years previous. But yeah, if you just want to touch on a couple of them sober, what do you think about some of those names?
Well, I think Dom and Kayla play together a lot, and they play together well. They communicate really well back and forth. Drug, he still to me is that prototypical D man where he is a stay at home. You think you have him, you don't. He gets the puck off his stick so fast off faceoffs, it's insane. Then RDB, he played well for us. Yeah, he might not have had the best offensive numbers, but he definitely was a rock for Shoddy on that side. And then Wizzy coming into his own playing D. I mean, he didn't do bad himself.
For sure. Dom, any thoughts? You're up for it yourself. What do you think?
Yeah, I want it to be known I did not vote myself to be nominated, regardless of how successful the season was. And sober, you touched on it, how Kayla and I play, and that's partly because we chose without even having a conversation, Kayla and I, that I would be the man back. She would be the presser. She's been working on our offensive game. That's what we kind of decided to do. It was kind of like one of those, practice seasons, but also like, just, hey, I'm a defenseman. I'm primarily a right winger. You guys all know that. So I just decided I'll be defensively responsible, be the man back. If you need someone to carry the puck or make breakout passes, whatever, hit someone at the blue line, I'll be that guy, and Kayla can be the person that presses, but she already has a good defensive ability. So I felt just that alone, those two nominations, two different styles of defense. So the same with everyone else we have. Like Drug, you touched on it. What you're getting out of him every single season. He is defensively sound always. Yeah, the dude tosses muffins for sure. And maybe that's where his offensive ability suffers, because the Norris is the best, all-around ability, or both sides of the ice, offensive and defensive. So, but you can't leave Drug out of there. He'll still set up plays, and he's still smart. Nexus, I think, is also, at the very least, he's always, in the conversation as one of the best, at least one of the best RDs in the league. RDV, I agree with you. I don't think he had the offensive numbers this season, but smart defensive player. And this is just obviously all my opinion. Playing defense this year, you kind of hone in on the other defenders and how your wingers are taking them, and who kind of stands them up with the line, who gives them a lot of pressure, and you see which guys do what, and which D do, which D are pretty offensive. Like typically Daly and Sea-Doo are very offensive, but they had a pretty off season. I think they would tell you that, because they didn't play much, and they may have suffered offensively. So I like the whole list, and I could see how guys like Wizzy would win, because he had a stupid amount of points from Pogs' team, which just makes sense. Your team's going to blow up the score. You're going to get a lot of points. And my obvious vote was, between like Wizzy, Kayla, Drug, and I'm not trying to be biased there. But it's just, I think, a good mix. What I want to see is a good mix of how hard it is to enter that person's zone, how hard they play you, and do they put points up. So those candidates to me at least are always in the conversation. So that's just my opinion.
Cool. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and reveal the winner. It is Wizzy War. Did lead the league in points this season from defense. He actually had over 10 more assists than anybody else had points in defense. You know, he had a really good season, really strong offensive season. But this voting was really close. Both Kayla and actually Rondon Vellante were very high in the voting as well, and were really close to Izzy in the Norris voting this season, which I think is good. I mean, Rondon Vellante, you know, you say he didn't really have the offensive season that he had last year. Anyway, last year he put up like 40 points, I think, and this year he had 17. But I think he was a real big core and a real big part of Master Shotgun's team. I mean, without him and Tom FTW, I don't think that team goes anywhere. And you know, I think that he had a really strong season. Kayla obviously did as well. And Wizzy's season, though, you know, it just was on a different level, I think, offensively than anybody else, and I think that's what put him over the edge. Sober, Tom, any thoughts on Wizzy? I guess you guys said them already.
Yeah, no, well, congrats to Wizzy for sure, and that's an unreal season, right? That's, you know, what typical offense, like a forward gets like what 80 points, 100 points if they're like killer, and he got half of that as a defender. That's, you know, that's stellar in itself.
All right, let's go on. Let's do something a little different. I'm gonna do the Lady Bing voting. This is another one this season that I just had a ton of nominations for. There was a lot of people on a lot of different pages for who to nominate for the Lady Bing. This is one of the more obscure votes that we have, and just that the criteria for it is so different. It's basically the gentleman award, and it's you know, it's tough to really quantify that. So you can get a lot of different people, a lot of different names brought up for it. But to list them off real quick, we've got Drug Monkey, Sea-Doo, Crazy Legs, Annex Crispy, BTW, Call Me Jakku, Mac North, Tom FTW, Hugh Laurie, Efstradios, and Jelly 35. So a lot of names there. Guys, if you want to pick out any specific that you want to talk about, go for it.
Over, you can go.
I give it up to my boy Tom. I mean, dude did what he did and tried to come back to make the playoffs after having his gallbladder surgery. Right there, that shows heart, man. If you're gonna come and try to play right out of hospital, that's nuts.
No, I agree with you. That's that's nuts. Well, what is that in the NHL? Like the Bill Masterton? I'll give that to Tom.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Just made it up right on the spot. I don't think we had it on the list. Pale, just Bill Masterton, Tom.
I was just gonna put it in there. Are you ready?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, no, the Bing, it's one of those crazy ones. I know Pale touched on it in terms of like who we want, like how many nominations we want per award, and that's something we'll structure for later on, I'm sure. But Lady Bing is just one of those. You can't leave this guy out of, you can't leave this guy out of the, you can't leave that guy out of the conversation. There's just so many people that are, I think, are excellent on and off the ice. So I guess in game and in party or in group chat. So that's a huge list. You know, guys that jump out to me right away. Like everyone's been a part of a drug. Can make you laugh. He can get pretty sweaty though. And great dude, great player. Sea-Doo, Legs, same exact thing. Crispy BTW. I mean, yeah, I love those guys. My boy Jakku, obviously, like to me, he's a big winner for sure. You touch on Tom, like all these guys are just like, I don't know about Hugh though. Hugh seems like a cuck, but everyone else seems to fit the award pretty nicely. And I can't see anybody winning this award, any nominee winning this award, being a fail or something. You know what I mean? It's all of them are well deserving. It's kind of splitting hairs at this point, in my opinion.
Yeah, man. I mean, it definitely wasn't a landslide vote or anything like that. The vote was pretty spread out, as you could imagine, with that many nominees. But we did have a winner, and that winner is Cedu77. Congratulations, Cedu. Chelsea getting on the board again.
Anybody but her. I don't need her to flex on me while I'm flexing on her with the championship, man. Especially because I didn't win the Norris. Didn't even want, but Chelsea's gonna be like, 2 Norrises. I'm like, well, you have 0 championships, but she's gonna bring up the Lady Bing. So, yikes, man. Not a good play for Dom.
What do you think, Sober? Any thoughts?
Can't go wrong. Has she won that before?
She must have.
It was her second time.
Okay. She's actually.
Yeah, Dom. Yeah.
She stabbed me with her foot when I was laying on her couch. Just don't ask me how it happened. She's just super mean to me. But congrats, Chelsea.
So you want to knock out a big one? Let's do a big one. Let's do Ted Lindsay. Ted Lindsay is the award voted on by everybody. We had a lot of different nominees for this one. We had Brick City, B Crip, Surprise Me, Cosmic EA. Who else? We had Wizzy War, and I think that's about it. I think that was it for the Ted Lindsay Awards. So that's the only one that I didn't write down all the nominations for. I forgot. But Ted Lindsay, it's for the most outstanding player in the league, as voted on by the players in the league. It's kind of like the Hart, not really the same thing, but pretty similar voting criteria. Sober, what do you think? Who's got this one?
I'm gonna say Cosmic. He led his first team to championship. He was high up in points, and I believe he got his stats done on time. So that ranks right up there with Daly for getting stats done on time. Although Don, did you do all those for
him? What would I do for him?
Did you do his stats?
Oh my god, no. Can you confirm?
But yeah, I'd say it's Cosmic. I mean, the guy's been there every season for points wise and everything. And now he led a team to a cup. So there you
go. Dom, what do you think, man?
I mean, the two that I'm narrowing it down on. But everyone else in the conversation, I think, pat on the back here. I think we did a good job of nominees, regardless of the numbers. I think everyone is kind of, they deserve the nod. I agree. Cosmic's an obvious thing. The conversation earlier, kind of in the season, could have been made for Cripps based on games that he's stolen for us and all that. I don't know. To me, it's just he's one of those guys who just got better the more he played, regardless of who he was playing with. He's playing with a different center, which definitely affected his #Chem. But he didn't miss a step, and can confirm Cosmic Casper in playoffs is no longer a thing. He performed, and I know these are not playoff awards, but it's just one of those players that under adversity kept performing. So he's my MVP, not only for the team but for the league. So that's my vote.
Yeah, I think Cosmic is the obvious choice for this one, in my opinion. Anyway, I think he had a great season and really put the team on his back. I think he really just had a fantastic season overall, and he is your winner of the Ted Lindsay Award for season number 9.
Nice. Congrats, Cos. Didn't need a bigger. He's gonna give me a backpack comment right now, and I know he is, but man, just give him his congrats now, so I don't have to hear a chirp later on. But yeah, that's great, and obviously to the rest of the nominees, I mean, that's a huge nod. Being up there with Cosmic and Cripps, look busy, like amazing. Sober, any thoughts?
Nope, I think I said it all already.
pretty. Bus drives itself at this point.
Yeah, right. Let's just move it on. Let's do the Jack Adams. This is for Captain of the Year. We had Pogs, BTW, Master Shotgun, and Cosmic EA up for this one. this is somebody, that's based off their drafting, as well as how they perform on the ice, how they manage situations on the team. It's just overall like a acknowledgement of somebody doing well as a captain. And those are the four nominees. Sober. What do you got on any of those guys?
Well, I'd venture to guess that I'd vote for Cosmic or Pogs, but I kind of feel like he can't vote for Pogs because he's had the same team every fucking time he's captain. So I got to give it to the first timer. The way he handled this team. I mean, the way you guys ran roughshod through a lot of the season, it would have been easy to get way too overconfident and have that fall on your ass. And then the way he was able to work his part-time schedule, the two centers rotating in and out without really losing anything. That'd be where I go.
Yeah. I mean, again, I'd vote here, but for the sake of switching it up, it's similar to what Cause's team did this season, trying to be as unbiased as I can here. Pogs and BTW, where they, unless I'm mistaken, did not trade anybody throughout the season. And if they did, I'm sure it was like their 6th or something, or their 7th or something. So I could see how that's a thing, and their teams, both obviously those are the top 3 teams, right? Pogs, Cause, and BTW throughout the regular season, and I mean they just kind of had a mix of drafting friends that are also skilled, and again didn't trade much, and just in terms of what they did for their team and how they played, I mean, I think you're again splitting hairs to get to the winner, but I think like you guys know who edges it out for me, so that's my
I
opinion.
think Master Shotgun deserves some credit here too. I think he put together a really good team in the draft, and it's unfortunate that he was eliminated out of the playoffs based off of missing his top line center, his first round pick, due to unfortunate circumstances. But I think he built a really good team with the picks that he was given, and I think he's another guy that went the whole season without making a trade. I don't think
For
he made
sure.
a trade.
I don't think so either. Did he sober?
Yeah, he traded Elliott for Odd.
Okay. All right. So yeah, he made a minor deal on defense for the season, but that goes into it as well. I mean, he saw something and wanted to change it up and make his team better, and you know, they ended up. I think they ended up as like the 5th seed in the playoffs, and I don't think many people saw that happening straight out of the draft with the team that he had. So, congrats to Shotgun. But our winner this season is going to be Cosmic EA as well. That's our winner for the season 9, Jack Adams.
Nice. There's nothing much else I'm going to say on that. I'm not going to revel in victory for too long. Obviously, proud of my team. Sober thoughts. Or we can move on.
Set them all again. We're good.
There we go.
Ahead and we already know who the Art Ross and the Rocket Richard are. Surprise Me 22. Congratulations on the Rocket Richard. It's the 2nd time winning that. And Cosmic EA winning the Art Ross. It's actually his 1st time winning that. I was kind of surprised by that. I thought that he had won it before, but he hadn't.
Right, so. Exactly. Another one, nice. Yeah.
So we got the Calder. This is for the best rookie or most outstanding rookie this season. A lot of guys from Cosmic's team. We've got AZ Mike War, O'Brien X8, Call Me Jakku. Then from Pogs, Truly for Canadian, and the first overall pick this year from Grish's team, Crazy Legs, are all up for the Calder this season. So, do you have any opinions on those guys?
Out of that group, I think actually when we did the nominations, I think I said any rookie on Dom's team was one, and then or on Cosmic's team, sorry, and then I put I want to say Crazy. Crazy is up there high for me. He's a guy that's been around for quite a while, other leagues, and he's just a mover, man. He can score. He can move the puck. That's to me. I think he's who I'd vote for. out of that group.
Dom, what you got?
Yeah, I got a foot in like every camp here except Truly, and he had a good season. I think he had a. I mean, if we're looking at it through an LG standpoint, he had a crazy good record. But obviously, Mike, OB, and Jack, all stellar seasons. I mean, obviously in the playoffs going 1-for-1, but in the regular season, just tremendous chemistry, tremendous skill. I mean, there's a stat out there that Mike, who was drafted 71st, had the same amount of goals as the first overall pick. So crazy legs. But again, that one team was kind of built differently in a higher offense, so you're going to get blown up numbers like that. But Mike's one of those guys who he puts them away. He's always in the right place at the right time, and he does create his own offense. He's one of those LT. He can be an LT shifty guy, and he drives the net really hard. So, I mean, Obi and Jack. I mean, I don't know if anybody's caught a stream of them, but they're stellar. Obi has tremendous chem with Cosmic, maybe more so than Jack, but Jack is also basically another Cosmic, and they create so much. That being said, Crazy, who I've known for years and is one of those guys who's always been that guy that when you put him in the lineup, your team's now contending. Now, that's not to say if you're on a team full of shitters like everyone else is, you can't really do much. But each of these guys, again, splitting hairs, it's so tough. I got to go with any one of my boys on this, including Crazy Legs. I can't decide. So I am excited to see who won, regardless of the name.
Yeah, I mean, O'Brien and Call Me Jocko, they both came into the league with, big expectations. A lot of people thought they were going to be the two best centers in the league. I think that they probably were pretty close to being that, if not were. But their part-time status is obviously going to affect how people see them in the voting. AZ Mike were a guy who really came out of nowhere for me. I didn't know this guy going into the draft, and I normally am on top of knowing everybody, but I've played with him a lot recently. He's a guy that's on late like I am, and we play. I've played a decent amount of games together, and the guy's talented. He definitely deserves any amount of credit that he gets on that team. But our winner this season is actually Crazy Legs, #1 overall pick from Grish's team this season.
Sweet, man. I'm obviously happy for Legs watching. I'm about to say congrats and your government name, but I'm not gonna do that to you, man. Well deserved, I think. Crazy Legs coming into the season and snatching up the Calder. I think obviously any one of my guys on my team could have taken it. Doesn't matter. Legs, you're just as good. You're up there, and I think we're a huge part, probably a contender for the Heart. In terms of what you meant to your team. So congrats to Legs, man.
All right. So up next we've got the Selkie. This is the last one before the Heart trophy. The Selkie goes to the best defensive forward in the league, or I guess two-way forward, not really defensive only, but
it implies defense. Yeah.
And we've got Pogs, Hockeytown, Tom FTW, Pale Boner, and O'Brien X8 up for this award. Sober, what do you got on these guys?
I'm just going straight out with who I'd vote for, and it'd be Pogs. He's a pain in the ass to get around. He plays more a full ice than probably people give him really credit for, because he's always constantly in front of the net doing something. But he's always one of the first people back, too, going the other way. He reminds me a lot of Hugh Laurie from back in the day when he used to play center a lot.
Dom, what do you got?
Yeah, I think there's a couple candidates here where it's kind of hard to differ. We got like Pale, yourself included, based on I think you've come a long way at the center position. I've seen you play D. You can play that easily, but Pog's obviously my center last season, and he hasn't really changed much. He just played on a line with more chem with these guys, so he's an easy decision. Tom is always guys like Tom and Russ, so Hockeytown are always in the conversation for Selkie. They're always defensively responsible, and if you put them with kind of good guys, on their wings. They can obviously produce with them. But that I could see hurting them in terms of the Selkie race just a little bit. But that doesn't mean they're not one of the best, in their own zone. Obviously, guys like Rome and people like that and so on can be made. Maybe Pog's not so much defensively, but he's not one of those defensive centers. So I don't know. To me, it comes down to because Opie was part-time, right? And Russ didn't really have that good of a season in terms of if you add points into it and goals against or whatever you want to differ offense and defense by. To me, it kind of comes down to Pale, Pogs. So you, Pogs, and Tom, but any one of those guys, I think I'd be happy with. It makes the most sense, type of thing.
Yeah. So this one was a really close three-way race. There was 1 point separating the winner from two of the other candidates in the voting process, and that 1 point went to Pogs getting his second Selkie trophy. So congratulations, Pogs, way to go! And that team was unreal defensively this season. I think they gave up like the least amount of goals scored in a full season in the league. So
yeah, that's crazy.
Big time defense from his, has the Norris winner and Selkie winner on the same team, and that's what you get, I guess. Let's go with the Hart Trophy now here. We've got 4 guys up for it. We've got Brick City, B Crips, Surprise Me 22, and Cosmic EA. Me personally, I think all 4 of these guys are pretty deserving of it. Surprise Me obviously goes out there, leads his team in scoring. He's kind of like the Sidney Crosby of 239 here. He's not the most skilled guy in the league. I think that probably goes to Cosmic, but Surprise Me is a guy that's going to get down low and be that grinder and really just go hard to the net and score some really gritty, dirty goals. And that's just kind of what it reminds me of. The guy is his contender for an Art Ross and a Rocket Richard season after season. Cosmic obviously, had an Art Ross winning year. He's one of the flashiest players in the league. He's an exciting guy to watch. B Crips had a fantastic year, a Vezina winning caliber season. And Brick City, I think, is the dark horse for this award. For me personally, he's here because you look at the team that's around him and you look at how he elevates the players around him. He's very clearly the MVP on his team. And I think that's how the Hart should be defined, is the MVP of the league. So those are the 4 nominees. Sober, what do you got on them?
Did you say the MVP of the league or the team?
It's the MVP of the league.
Okay. Well, then I still think it's Cosmic. Once again, doing everything he did as a captain, keeping his team level-headed, and doing what he did on the ice too. Brick would be a top number 2 guy for me too. Also with what he did with the team that he had and the run that they got on to make the finals. Dom.
Yeah, Sober. Sorry, if you're asking what the trophy is, the Hart is for the MVP of the team. The Lindsay's for the league.
Gotcha.
Right. So in that, I think Pale is spot on with Brick. So the best way to think of the Hart is if you have that player, from that team, you take him off that team. How do you think that team fares? You look at Brick's team, you take Brick off of it. I know it still has Drug and guys that are surging, that like Jelly and all these guys. I think Brick's definitely a candidate for that team. Crips, you could argue. I think, again, like I said earlier, for the Lindsay, maybe early on during the season, you could argue we don't have Crips. What team do we have? But the forwards kind of hit their stride, and Kayla and I, gelled together, and it not to say it didn't matter, but it in terms of who would hurt more if you remove them from our team, it became Cosmic throughout the regular season, in my opinion. Surprise Me. I think if you take him off that team, you still got really good players, a really good 5-man team. Like defensively, you hit the nail on the head again. Surprised me drives the net, kind of like a work out of the corner, Crosby grind type of guy. But in terms of the most impact for the team, again, it goes to Cosmic for me, or Brick. I think based on team specific, we'll look at her. Cosmic Brick surprised me kind of in that order would be, I think, the most effective. So, again, be exciting to know who wins.
Trouble.
Yeah. So the winner is going to be Cosmic EA, and I think he's fully deserving of this. I think he had a great season, and kind of cleaned up on awards day, and that's deserving. I think he had a really good season, and it shows. I mean, he just surrounded himself with great talent. He got to pick his roster, and he did a great job of doing it. And statistically, he had a fantastic season. So he gets his second heart in the league. I think only him and No Regretskis have had multiple. So good for him, and it was a great season.
Sure.
I'm just going to quickly run through the All-Stars real quick. The All-Star voting was done by the league as well. So the top 3 forwards voted are the first team All-Star, next 3 forwards are the second team All-Star, so on and so forth. So real quickly, let's just run through. The season 9 first team All-Stars at forward are Brick City, Surprise Me 22, and Cosmic EA. First team defense is Wizzy War and Drug Monkey, and goalie is B Crips. The second team unit is going to be Call Me Jakku, Pogs, Annex Crispy, Rev Hellcat, Dom Silva, and Welcome to the Web. So those are our all-star teams as well. Any thoughts on those guys? You guys want to comment on it, or you just want to go ahead straight into captains?
Is there going to be a game?
That's my question exactly too. I feel like someone should organize this.
I mean, we ask that every season.
Right.
And the answer is always yes, and then it never happens. So it really depends on whether somebody steps up and organizes it. So
I think we need to do like the NHL or something where we do it mid-season, so where we know people's schedules or something. Like schedule the All-Star game on a day, get our teams in, and I don't know. It's tough to do during the regular season because you're kind of getting the All-Stars from the stats and whatnot. But yeah, I would love to put that together. So hopefully someone, maybe me, will.
I'm all head of marketing. Let's get it together then.
It is, I guess, my job technically. So I'll start a group chat and ask all these pucks if they want to get one done. I'll, host a stream. Hopefully we can get that done for once in our life. But it is an honor in itself. I obviously must say I've never been a part of the All-Star team. Never really cared. But it's great. Feels great.
So let's move on. We're also going to be announcing captains tonight.
Sweet.
We've got 12 captains lined up. Currently, we have enough for 10 teams. We're expecting there to be a little bit of a run in the next 10 days or so. I think I know the draft pool closes on the 28th, and then our draft will be on the 7th. So still some time to sign up. Absolutely. We think that there's probably going to be about 12 teams. If we have to add more, then we'll add more. If we have to cut somebody, then we'll cut somebody. But we're going to go ahead and announce 12 captains here. You want me to do it one by one and talk about each one of them, or you want me to just throw it out there? Who we got?
I think you just throw it out there.
Okay. So for our returning captains, this is from this season as well as past seasons. We've got Master Shotgun, No Regretskis, Pogs, Grish, Paleponer, DMart 15, Dom Silva, and Shock 10. Or I guess his name is Havoc now, not Shock. But those are 8. That's 8 returning captains that we have this season, and we have 4 new captains in Clancy 2113, Quantum Tech, Mr. Mike Scott, and Blase BBX are our captains this season. So All those guys, you can start making your scouting games and whatnot, and start looking forward to the draft for next season. Those are our guys that we got locked in this season. Sober, Dom, any thoughts on those guys?
Go ahead, Dom.
Only the list. No, I mean, yeah, sorry, got it here. Yeah, the new captains, Clancy, Quantum, Mike, and like BBX. So I've known Mikey. He's captained a team before. I guarantee you put his team name right next to Mr. Mike Scott. It's going to be Threat Level Midnight, guaranteed. It's going to be his team. So congrats to Mikey. Obviously, very excited to see what he can do. And Quantum is a shock to me. I don't think I've ever noticed. He never came off like the type of guy that's wanted to captain before, even though he's very much, I think, wants to give to the league and give to his team type of person. You kind of get that from him. So I'm excited to see that. Clancy and BBX, no clue what they're gonna do. Not a dig, not a vote of confidence, but not a dig either. I just no clue. Let's see. Jesus take the wheel on those two. So see what happens there. Shockey, he's back again. We'll see how his typical team plays out. And I don't know, the guys that are returning, like Grish, I think he deserves a do-over. I would love to see what he can put together. Maybe give more credit to defense and goaltending this season. You all learn. I've had 2 horrible seasons as a captain. Learn from it. Learn from your mistakes. Each season got better. So I love those. D-Mart, the huge return from Dan. Can't wait to see a Dan team. Again, I hate that I'm captaining a season that he's captaining because I never get to play with the guy. Not that would happen ever. Pog, so you can bet, float, and surprise me, you're getting drafted again to that team. And Brian also deserves a do-over, and Shotgun, I want to see more consistency from him. So that's I think a pretty strong list. We'll see how it fares against this season's, because to me this was probably the most had the most parity. There were a lot of strong teams, huge race near the end. There were like I don't know what the difference was between 8th and 9th, but
not a lot.
Not a lot, right?
In tune to the race.
Yeah, right. Like we had to up to the wire. The last series, the last day affected seeding, not just will this guy make it or not. It affected seeding, like the bottom two. To me, that's a strong year. So these new captains, I mean, not that it's really their job, but I think from an admin standpoint, I would imagine you guys would want keep up the parity. Don't be an idiot. Don't draft your friends stupidly or anything like that. Draft a strong team. Let's create some good internal competition here. So that's what I'm looking for from the old captains or the new captains, and maybe the old captains. I don't know, something new. Maybe don't draft, float, and surprise me for the 18th billionth time, Pogs, and see if you can win a championship. You're like 1 for 4 with that team, and that 25% of that time you got your team from Kinky. I mean, I'm just putting it out there, but not a big deal. That's a shot at Pogs. I love you, man. So yeah, it'll be exciting. So that's my thought on captains. Sober, your thought?
I wonder how many times Daly's going to do a show or Shock's going to put in his stats.
Well, that's not going to happen because Daly doesn't do shows, man.
Shit.
Apparently, he's too busy on LG, man, with them wife beaters.
Well, yeah, I got a G chat saying he's playing HUD right now.
He's playing. I got the same G chat. I don't know what he's doing. He's space now, man. He's failing.
But no, the returning caps, I think will do well. I too have a couple of questions about the new captains. I mean, Clancy's done his LG thing before, so I think he'll be able to run a show. Now, will people get along with him running that show? Who knows? Because Clancy, goddamn it, you get on his bad side, holy shit. As Legion, listen to that shit in the chat box. Holy crap. BBX, keep up the Mr. Nice Guy thing that you got going on. You're starting to get that swagger thing. Yeah. Kind of, I don't want to come out and trash him or anything, but he's been on the upkeep, yeah, I think it'll be a good list. I mean, God damn it, Pogs, draft a different team, would you? Just one. just keep it interesting, right?
Just do something else, man. I know that you're friends, and you guys. Aren't they constantly in first place or at least contending? How can you not? I understand how he cannot, or how he can't. Like, but
well, he switches out just enough to make it
Can't
look like
not.
you can't not, man. He is unable to can. So I mean, yeah.
But then Dom is going to throw it out there. So
Yeah.
you know how you had your love fest with Yam for those couple seasons, right? And he was playing D.
I wouldn't call it that, but okay.
So he was playing D, right?
Yeah.
Well, now you can slide back and play D, and
I'm playing right D, and he's playing right wing now. Is that what you're saying? That was our problem. Those 3 seasons way back when was we were on the opposite side. And to be fair, fuck, that's probably the go. Like you know me best. I fucking hate playing D. I like being a winger, so to speak. It's not that bad sometimes, but there's this game like sometimes you can't hit a guy near the net, and he just squeaks one by, and you want to break your controller in rage. So. Man, if that's the play, I need to retire. I've had Yam on my team once. He had a cup of coffee on my team once, the team that I captained, and immediately he won it off. And immediately I didn't want him when I got him. He was just a package deal. Yeah, there might be a Yam watch. There might be a Dom Yam watch this season, but I do not plan on drafting Yambag this season, nor any season. So we should. Hopefully he gets drafted this season, though.
All right. So that's all that I got. I don't really have anything else. We just want to swing it around the horn real quick and see if anybody's got anything else to go off of, and we can just get this show on the road. Sober, you have anything else going out here?
Merry fucking Christmas and happy fucking Hanukkah.
Happy New Year. Yeah, I want to say
this. Yeah, Happy New Year too. Shit.
I know my details would blow up. Donnie and Schwartz and Mikey are probably going to try and get me to say a word, which I'm not going to say. But yeah, happy Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you believe in. Hopefully we see you before the end of the new year. Probably won't. It's going to be once Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, like next Tuesday. Probably not. But yeah, it was a great, successful season, obviously, for yours truly. And sports took, 5 out of 10 awards. But it's time to move on. I want to see this draft. Do we have dates, Pale, before we leave?
Yeah.
I'll swing it to you if you have dates for us.
December 28th, the pool is closing. So any position changes that you need to make, any signups need to be done before then. Any MIA needs to be locked in on December 28th. January 7th will be the draft day. I think that's a Monday. It's the second Monday in January. And yeah, that's the important dates to know. I don't know if we have a actual start to the season, but you'd assume like a week later or 2 weeks later from the draft. So yeah, those are the important ones. The 28th is a Friday. That's next Friday. That is when the pool is closing. That's the important one. And January 7th is the draft. We'll have a show between then and now. We need to do captain's order, and obviously we'll have the draft day show as well. So yep, let's just wrap it up here, and good show, guys.
Yeah, good show, man.
Have a good one.
It's an actual show, so it's a good one.
Right? Throw down out.
Something happened.